Hello everyone and welcome to a scrapbook layout share where today I'm focusing on 6x6 designer series papers used on a 12x12 scrapbook layout. I have 12 layouts to show you today, so 6 double page spreads, and I'm using the Full of Life designer series paper that is in a 6x6 format. I just love this paper collection so much. I have used it several times already and I really wanted to write a scrapbook workshop guide showing how you can use 6x6 papers on 12x12 layouts. I think the format for this size and the patterns and the colors that have been used are perfect for 6x6 size pattern papers. It may have been a little bit overpowering to do these as full 12x12 sheets. So I'm going to get into showing you what I've created with this and how easy it is to get 6x6 designer series papers onto your 12x12 layouts. I will have a link below in the description to everything that I have used, as well as a link for my scrapbook workshop guide, which has a full cutting guide because I haven't used the 6x6 papers in their full size on these layouts. I have done some cutting, and of course I've brought in other cardstock for other elements and of course photo mats as well. I'm going to bring in the stamp sets that I have used for this. On the most part, I've got all Stampin' Up stamp sets here. The inks that I've used here are black and toffee from Close to My Heart. The black is Memento Tuxedo Black, but the toffee could definitely be substituted for crumb cake. And you can see on my stamping here, I have offset. So I've stamped first with the brown and then stamped again with the Memento Tuxedo Black so that it gives like a drop shadow effect on these titles that are contained within this stamp set. This one is only available online. It's not in the annual catalogue, but it's a great one for scrapbooking, and I know that I have used this before and will do so many times. The stamping on these layouts are for suggestions only. This sort of format that I do with 6x6, I've done 5x5, 4x4 and 3x4 guides, and they are basically there to give you help with getting the papers cut and onto your layouts, and you don't have to use this stamp set. You could definitely use stamp sets that are more beach themed for this layout, and it would make a great party layout as well because you could put balloons up here or cupcakes or gifts and dress this up however you wish. I have used 4 of the papers here. They're all this paper here, and I've used the reverse side for these other elements. And this little journal box here is created using this stamp set. I've used it in this orientation so I can stamp down along my piece here, and that's going to be bullet style journaling. And the little camera images and the chevrons are also contained within this stamp set as well. So it's a very versatile stamp set to use. Let's move on to the second layout. And this one is a whole lot of fun. Now this is a blue-green tone as well, and is a stronger, brighter color. So you can see, even though the tones are the same here, this one has a more subtle look. This one is much more vibrant, and I've used 2 different patterns here and a reverse side of one of these. And then of course I've used these little rosettes. So I'll bring in the stamp set I've used. It's called Round We Go. And I'll open this up and you can see there is this element here that you can die cut. And when you die cut with 2 of these, you can do all the folding. It's got score lines here. And I will link to Andrea Sherman and also to Julie Carrier's videos. They have both used this set recently in videos. And Andrea has a really good hack of how to get these to stay nice and flat when you're assembling them. What I found though was that on the back of these, I used this shape here so that I could adhere everything together, and it would be nice and sturdy to then flip over and adhere this little circle to the center of these, so that it will all stay together and flat while I was assembling it. And you do have to be mindful of the patterns that you're using because you want these elements here to line up. It looks a bit strange if you've got a pattern design and it doesn't line up within the rosette here. I've also used this alphabet, which I've used before, the mini alphabet dies, to do the title. And the stamping here is from that same Round We Go set. And This Is Your Day is from here. Hip Hip Hooray and Happy Birthday is also from that set. And these 2 have been put on tags here. This is fast becoming a scrapbooking favorite. I bought this for my Christmas Tag Tuesday series, which is in October and November, but I'm loving using this on scrapbook layouts. So it's called Greetings of the Season Dies. It does come with a coordinating stamp set that you can purchase as well in a bundle that has a lot of seasonal greetings on it, but I love this just for generic tag making. I've got some waxed twine that I had in my stash that I've used for this. This is a fairly generic layout for me. Depending on what colors and what pattern papers you use, it's a good layout to showcase quite a lot of photos. With 2 feature photos on this side and 5 on that side, you can put 7 photos across this double page spread. And you've also got room here to do your journaling. So let's move on to the next one. This is another fun layout with this rainbow wash type pattern paper. I love the vividness of the pinks, the greens, yellows and the blues that have come through with this watercolor style pattern. And I've used this Round We Go set as well. The dies here are so versatile. That's got all of these bursts here. Some have rounded edges, some are pointy, but I don't mind mixing them up to create the different sizes. And then these circle elements here, the 2 dies, work really well together to give a landing space. This is the reverse, of course, but I've got a landing space here for journaling, for little subheadings, and these all come from the stamp set as well. It's such a versatile set. It's not just for making rosettes. If you didn't want to do the rosettes on the other page, if you wanted to reduce the bulk, you could definitely stamp these elements here and cut them out with one of these dies and create a flatter image to put on there, so you don't have the raised element from doing the rosette and all the folding. So this one's a lot of fun to use. And the dots that I've used throughout this workshop are from the Glossy Dots assortment, because it has a range of colors here that you can bring in that match this Full of Life pattern paper. And for this one, I've just used it in the center of these bursts. So I'll just take this one away and we'll go from full on bright and bold and vivid colors to a more subtle look. And that's what I love about the flexibility of this paper packet. Using the soft muted colors with this, with strong black and white stamping, I think works really well together. And for this one, I've used Changing Leaves. I've got a sentiment here that's meant for a card. You are amazing in every single way. That is going to be my title for this page for when I put my photos on here. Unless I think I want to put another title on here, this would become a subheading and I could put my title across this part. My journaling can go across this pattern paper here because it is a subtle wash of color. And all the stamping is done with this Changing Leaves set, but I've also used 2 of the dies, this leaf and sprig here, just in black cardstock, just to tuck in and around these stamped images to lend them a little bit more weight. And for all of these layouts, the cutting guide does have the photo mats and the larger pieces of black here all laid out for you to cut, but you don't necessarily have to have 12 by 12 inch cardstock. You can cut these pieces from 8.5 by 11, except for the next layout I'm going to show you because I've put a 12 by 12 base on it. And I'm going to go through my stash and find some little black and maybe some pink dots to scatter in amongst the leaves here. And you can see throughout this, I've used a black journaling pen for all the layouts that I've shown you so far with just a single line going around it, but I've changed that up for the next layout. This one was a whole lot of fun to do. I had everything down on this page except for the stamped images because I wasn't quite sure which way I was going to go with this. I love the motion of having these diamond pieces coming across like this in like an arrow format. It would make a great athletics page or any sports page. And I was at my recent 3-day scrapbooking event and one of the ladies had this gorgeous stamp set and very kindly let me borrow it. And now I have purchased it and it's on its way to me because I absolutely love it. It's called Racing By, and as I said before, I'll list everything that I've used below in the description. I did have a racing cart from a Close to My Heart set that I was thinking about using, but it was only one car. This one has layers that you can use. So you have the outline of the car and then you can stamp these 2 designs on. You can mix up the wheels. It has the little racing driver in there that you can put in. It doesn't have dies with it, but they are easy images to cut out. And I've stamped these in Stampin' Up colors. So this is Crushed Curry, Granny Apple Green, and I've brought in Blueberry Bushel because I didn't really want to put a red with this, and I think the blue still works really well. And I have used my Spectrum Noir markers to colour in these elements here, and all of these images were fussy cut. This was a fun one to do with the line work that I did with this, and this is the one that I backed in 12 by 12 black. So just to give it a bit more of a sporty type feel, it just seemed to be more grounded onto the black cardstock. But with the line work, I did double lines across here. Now I just freehanded all of these. I don't use a ruler because I want to get them done quickly, and it just adds to more movement on the page, I think, having the double lines all the way around these pattern papers here. Such a fun layout to put together. It could be for any sports type day, any event really. These papers are generic enough that you can put whatever photos you like on here. At the 3-day event that I just recently did, one of the ladies had a whole heap of photos, and I just picked 2 of the photos out of her pile of photos and put them on top of each layout. And they were photos of her children at the park, and they worked well with each and every one of the layouts that I've shown you today. Now this last layout I'm going to show you is easy peasy. I wasn't going to include it in the workshop guide, but then I thought it's part of the 6x6 pattern. And I wanted to show everybody how easy it is just to take 4 sheets of 6x6 designer series paper, lay them out on the page, put your photo mats on, and then decorate it with whatever you wish. In this case, I've used butterflies, and your page is done. I know I'm so used to scrapbooking with 12x12 papers, but scrapbooking with 6x6 pattern papers can seem like it's not going to work on a 12x12 page. So I hope I've convinced you with this video that it is definitely doable, especially with these gorgeous bright colors. But these patterns could be used for any 6x6 designer series paper. And even though I wasn't going to include this one in the guide, I thought I'm going to take photos of them all, so it's like a little bonus one, just to give you a jumping off point if you want to start with this one first with your 6x6 scrapbooking. Now the pieces that I've used for this are Alphabet a la Mode. This one is a popular favorite of mine for doing titles, and I've used sketched butterflies, and that determined how I was doing my line work around all of these pattern papers here. It's got a lot of sketch details, a lot of line work, so I brought that into the pattern paper here. I did single lines around it all, and then I just did little squiggles in certain corners of it to coordinate with the sketch butterflies. But I think you can use this type of line work with any type of layout that's got a lot of fun on it. Now I was intentional with the placement of the papers and the patterns so that as it comes across, where this one ends in the crushed curry colour, it goes into crushed curry on the next piece. The same with these purple tones. They are up against each other, and then we go back to the crushed curry here as well. I think this one might be berry burst, but I could be wrong. I'm just going to bring in my pack here and have a little look at what the list is. And yes, it's berry burst. So a gorgeous purple colour. And that's what I love about the tones in all of these patterns. There's a lot of colour on here, but it works really, really well. And I think having the white space and mostly black mats on all of my layouts really gives life to these gorgeous papers. So I'm just bringing them back in for another quick look, and hope that you enjoyed what I've created with these 6x6 designer series papers. I will have links to everything below, and I hope this encourages you to get your 6x6 papers out, or alternatively, you could cut 1 sheet of pattern paper into 4 to create your own 6x6 papers to create these layouts. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope to see you next time. Happy crafting, and bye for now.